In the silence of space, there are moments when the universe seems to whisper. In 1977, deep in Ohio, a radio telescope called Big Ear detected something that should not have existed. A signal so powerful, so precise, that it immediately stood out from all background noise. It lasted exactly 72 seconds. Then it vanished forever. Scientists later named it the wow signal. What made this signal terrifying was not just its strength, but its structure. It appeared on the exact frequency where scientists believed intelligent life would attempt communication. Not random noise, not natural radiation, something intentional. The astronomer who discovered it circled the data and wrote one word in red ink: wow. No similar signal has ever been detected again from that exact location in space. Was it a greeting, a test transmission, or a message that arrived centuries too late? The region of space it came from showed no stars capable of producing such a signal. No known cosmic event could explain it. And yet, for 72 seconds, something out there screamed into the void, and Earth listened. Some researchers believe the signal was sent once, deliberately to see who would respond. Others fear it was never meant for us at all. What if it was a warning? What if Earth was not the destination, but the witness? Even more disturbing is this. Modern telescopes have scanned the same coordinates thousands of times since. Total silence, as if whoever sent the signal realized they had been heard, and chose never to speak again. Or worse, they are still listening. Because if that signal was the first message, then the question is no longer, are we alone? The real question is, why did they stop? In the next episode, we explore another unexplained transmission, one that repeated itself for years, as if something was trying very hard to be understood. Some signals arrive once, others refuse to stop. In the early 2000s, astronomers began detecting something deeply unsettling. Short, powerful bursts of radio waves coming from deep space. They were named fast radio bursts, FRBs. At first, scientists assumed they were random cosmic events, neutron stars, magnetars, exotic physics, anything except intelligence. Then one of them broke the rules. In 2007, researchers confirmed a repeating signal called FRB 121102. Unlike all others, this one came back again and again and again, always from the same distant galaxy, over 3 billion light-years away. Natural cosmic events do not behave this way. The bursts were brief, milliseconds long, but unimaginably powerful. In that instant, they released more energy than the sun produces in an entire day. And yet, they followed patterns, gaps, clusters, silence, then sudden activity, almost like timing, almost like intention. What disturbed scientists the most was the precision. These signals were not drifting randomly through space. They were focused, as if aimed, as if something was knocking, waiting to see if anyone would notice. Some researchers quietly asked a forbidden question. What if this isn't noise? What if it's a beacon? Even more unsettling, the signal showed signs of passing through an extreme magnetic environment, something far beyond human technology. Whatever created it was operating under conditions we barely understand. And yet, it kept repeating, Why repeat a message if no one is listening? Unless the sender knows someone eventually will. Years later, more repeating FRBs were discovered. Different locations, different patterns, almost as if multiple sources were active across the universe. Not one voice, many. Some scientists believe these signals are accidental byproducts of alien technology, energy leaks from machines we cannot imagine. Others fear they are deliberate markers mapping the cosmos. But the most chilling theory suggests something else entirely. What if these signals are not meant to communicate with us, but to find us? Because repetition is not how you speak, it's how you search. And if something out there is searching, the real danger isn't that we haven't answered yet. It's that one day we might. In the next episode, we examine a signal so strange that scientists initially thought it came from inside our own galaxy until they realized it was far older than humanity itself. In 1967, a young astrophysics student named Jocelyn Bell was scanning radio data late at night. Endless lines, static, noise. Then she saw it. A signal so precise it terrified her. A sharp pulse, every 1.337 seconds, perfectly timed, never drifting. Nothing in the known universe behaved like that. At first, scientists joked nervously. They labeled it LGM-1, Little Green Men, because no natural explanation made sense. This was not random radiation. This was a cosmic heartbeat. The signal was coming from deep within the Milky Way, repeating with machine-like accuracy. If intelligence ever announced itself to humanity, this was exactly how it would sound. Panic stayed quiet, but real. What if someone was calling us? For weeks, researchers kept the discovery secret. If this was artificial, it would be the most important moment in human history, or the last. Eventually, they found more of these signals, dozens of them. The source was identified as a pulsar, a rapidly spinning neutron star emitting radio waves like a lighthouse. Case closed. Or so it seemed, because something didn't sit right. Pulsars are natural, yes, but their precision is almost impossible. Stars collapsing into objects that rotate hundreds of times per second with a consistency. Some scientists quietly asked, why does the universe create natural machines? Even more disturbing, some pulsars suddenly change their rhythm. They glitch. They speed up, slow down, correct themselves, almost like recalibration. Today, astronomers rely on pulsars as cosmic clocks. They are so reliable that spacecraft, navigation systems use them as guides. Across deep space, think about that. Human technology depends on signals older than Earth itself. Signals we did not create. Signals we do not control. Signals that never stop. And if intelligence wanted to hide in plain sight, what better disguise than something we label natural? Because once you stop questioning a signal, you stop listening. Next episode, a transmission discovered decades after it was sent. A message that crossed the stars long before humans were ready to receive it. In 1974, humanity tried to speak. From the Arecibo radio telescope in Puerto Rico, scientists sent a powerful radio transmission into space. A simple message, mathematics, DNA, the human form, our location in the galaxy. It was aimed at a star cluster 25,000 light-years away. A message in a bottle, thrown into the cosmic ocean. But what most people don't know is this. We may not have been the first to send a message. Decades later, astronomers began detecting strange radio emissions, buried deep in old astronomical data. Signals that predated modern technology, signals recorded accidentally, ignored at the time. Some of these transmissions showed structured patterns, sequences that did not match known astrophysical sources. Even more unsettling, a few appeared to originate from regions of space where no stars should exist anymore. Dead zones, ancient coordinates. If these signals were sent deliberately, they were transmitted thousands, maybe millions of years ago, long before humans built cities, long before we looked at the stars and wondered, who were they meant for? One theory suggests these were cosmic markers, messages left behind by civilizations that no longer exist, a final echo traveling endlessly through space. Another theory is far darker. What if these messages were warnings? Warnings about something moving through the galaxy. Something slow, something patient. Because space is vast, light takes time. Messages arrive long after their senders are gone. And if we are only now beginning to hear these signals, then we are listening to a conversation that ended before we were born. Or worse, a conversation that never ended at all. Because some of these signals do something impossible. They don't fade. They remain steady, as if being powered continuously by something still out there, watching, waiting. In the next episode, we investigate a signal so close to Earth that scientists initially feared it came from our own technology until they traced its path back beyond the solar system. In 2015, something strange happened. Radio astronomers detected a signal that was too strong, too clean, and too close to ignore. At first, panic spread quietly through research centers. The frequency looked artificial. The timing was wrong. And worst of all, it appeared to be coming from near Earth. For a brief moment, scientists feared the impossible. Had something entered our neighborhood? The signal was sharp, narrow-band, and unlike normal cosmic noise, it didn't smear across frequencies the way natural signals do. It was focused like a laser. Investigators rushed to rule out human technology, satellites, aircraft, military systems. Everything was checked. Nothing matched. Then the signal stopped. Days later, it returned. This time from a slightly different angle. That's when researchers realized something terrifying. The source was moving. Eventually, after intense analysis, the signal was traced back beyond the orbit of Mars, then Jupiter, then further, deep space. Some scientists later suggested it may have been an unknown astronomical phenomenon. Others quietly admitted the truth. We don't know. What made this case unsettling was how quickly it vanished from public discussion. Papers were delayed. Reports softened. The event faded into obscurity. But insiders remember the internal conversations. Because for a short time, humanity believed something had entered the solar system and announced itself without words. If intelligence wanted to observe Earth, it wouldn't shout, It would whisper, and it would start close, before deciding whether to come closer. In the next episode, we examine patterns found not in space, but on Earth itself. Shapes that appear overnight, aligned with stars, and vanish without a trace. For decades, strange shapes have appeared overnight in open fields around the world. Perfect circles, complex mathematical precision impossible to create in darkness. They are known as crop circles. At first, many dismissed them as hoaxes, human-made art, simple tricks, but some formations shattered that explanation completely. Plants were not broken, they were bent, heated from the inside. Soil showed signs of electromagnetic interference. Compasses malfunctioned near the formations. Even more disturbing, some crop circles contained encoded mathematical ratios, star maps, and symbols that aligned with astronomical events. In 2002, a formation appeared near Chilbolton Observatory in England. It looked like a response to the famous Arecibo message humanity sent into space decades earlier. A reply. The image showed altered DNA, a different biological structure, a different origin point in the galaxy. If it was a prank, it was the most sophisticated one in history. But why use fields? Why leave messages where anyone could see them, yet no one could fully explain them? Some researchers believe crop circles are markers, not messages. Coordinates, proof of presence, silent signatures left behind by something that doesn't need permission to cross our skies. Others believe they are tests, observing how humanity reacts to the unexplained. Fear, curiosity, denial, because the clearest sign of intelligence is not speech, it's pattern, and these patterns suggest something has been watching us, not from deep space, but from much closer than we want to admit. In the next episode, we uncover a signal so mysterious it was initially blamed on cosmic noise, until scientists realized it was following Earth's rotation. In 2016, astronomers analyzing deep space radio data noticed something impossible. A weak but consistent signal appeared, disappeared, then returned again. At first, it looked like interference, random noise, equipment error, until someone noticed the pattern. The signal wasn't random. It was synchronized with Earth's rotation. Every time the planet turned, the signal shifted in a way that suggested it was tracking a fixed point, relative to Earth, not the stars, not the galaxy, us. This immediately alarmed researchers. Natural cosmic signals do not behave this way. They don't adjust to a planet's movement. They don't follow anything. For weeks, teams worked to debunk it. Satellites were ruled out. Ground-based transmitters were excluded. No known human technology fit the behavior. Then came the most disturbing detail. The signal's strength subtly increased when large regions of Earth rotated into view major population centers, almost as if the source was observing. No official explanation was ever released. Internally, the signal was labeled unresolved, a word scientists use when the truth is uncomfortable. Because if something is capable of locking on to a rotating planet from deep space, then it's not sending blind messages. It's targeting, and if that's true, then Earth has already been noticed. In the final episode, we confront the most unsettling question of all. What if these signals are not attempts to communicate, but confirmations that we've been found? Some signals don't scream. They whisper just enough to be noticed. In the late 1990s, researchers analyzing deep space radio data encountered a transmission unlike anything before. It wasn't a pulse. It wasn't a burst. It was structured, layers of frequencies stacked on top of each other, forming patterns that repeated, but never exactly the same way twice. Attempts to decode it using mathematics, linguistics, and signal theory all failed. The signals seemed to adapt. When one decoding method was applied, the pattern shifted slightly, as if avoiding interpretation. That's when a terrifying idea emerged. What if the signal wasn't meant to be decoded by us? What if it was meant to be recognized? Like a fingerprint, like a signature, something that simply says, "We were here." And if that's true, then the message wasn't incomplete. We were. Next episode, a sound so disturbing it was nicknamed the scream of the universe. In 2003, astronomers recorded an extremely low-frequency signal coming from deep space. It didn't resemble communication. It sounded like screaming. Long, distorted waves stretched across the data, lasting far longer than any known cosmic event. The signal was later nicknamed the cosmic scream. Scientists struggled to explain it. Too organized to be random, too chaotic to be natural. Some described it as a pressure wave, as if something massive had moved violently through space. Others suggested it could be the collapse of something enormous, not a star, but something else, something artificial. What chilled researchers most was the timing. The signal coincided with multiple other unexplained detections across different observatories worldwide, as if whatever caused it was impossible to miss, almost like it wanted to be heard. But screams are not messages. They are reactions, and reactions mean something happened. Final episode, we asked the question humanity has avoided for decades. For years, humanity has been asking the same question. Are we alone? But what if that question is wrong? What if the universe has been answering us all along, and we simply didn't like the answer? Signals that repeat, messages that predate humanity, patterns on Earth, frequencies that track our planet. These are not isolated events. They form a timeline, and timelines suggest intention. Maybe extraterrestrial intelligence doesn't communicate the way we expect. No words, no greetings, no peace messages. Maybe communication is observation, testing, marking, because the most advanced intelligence wouldn't announce itself loudly. It would watch and decide if these signals are real, and many of them are. Then the terrifying possibility is this: contact may not be a future event. It may be a past one, and we're only now beginning to realize we were never alone in the dark. The universe isn't silent. We just finally learned how to listen.